Joining me is the political panel, Cameron Milner, former Chief of Staff to Labor leader Bill Shorten, and now Director of GXO Strategies, and Michael Costa, former New South Wales Labor Treasurer. Cameron, Bill Shorten would not have pursued the policies that we've seen from this government. He most certainly would not have missed that funeral had he been Labor leader. What do you make of the Prime Minister not fronting up?
Well, isn't he just disgusting? What a disgrace. I mean, he's a Prime Minister in name only, Andrew. I mean, Bob Hawke would be rolling in his grave to see this is the Labor Party that Anthony Albanese is the titular head of. No, an absolute disgrace. Happy to turn up to Richo's funeral, and so good, so he should have, but not to rabbis. Richo's, but not rabbis. And this is the problem, Andrew. I mean, we've got a government that's completely complacent about 3,000 Gazans who came in here on tourist visas when Egypt or Jordan wouldn't take one of them. Wouldn't take one of them as the closest neighbours. Yet we let 3,000 of them in. We've let hate preachers and we've let hatred people come to our country. We've been the trash bin of haters from the Islamic world who come to our country, abuse our laws, do not share our values, and now, in a completely predictable and, I believe, preventable event, we have 15 people who are dead in Australia because of Anthony Albanese and his watch and the failure to lead Australia as the Prime Minister of Australia.
I don't think it's all Michael Costa. I don't think it's all Anthony Albanese's fault, but he most clearly failed in his most basic duties to make such attacks less likely. And there's no there's no assurance that this will be the last at all. What do you make of it all?
Well, I'm absolutely disgusted, and I was there on a Sunday afternoon. We left about 10 minutes before the shooting started. I was there with my sons, and I can tell you, people were there to celebrate events, both Hanukkah and also Christmas. We were taking photographs in front of the Christmas tree in the pavilion. And, you know, to see the results of this government's policy, and look, let's make no bones about this. Anthony Albanese has always been a slogan peddler that has put his own personal factional interests above the concerns that everyday Australians have. And that's why he's in the job that he's in. And Cameron knows that as well as anybody. You know, when Bill Shorten was the leader, what was going on. I have to say that I'm absolutely disgusted that there's an attempt now to deflect around gun control as being the cause of this issue. I was involved as police minister in this second round of Howard gun laws, and that was in the 2025-26 on handguns. And I can tell you, we still have handguns out there in Western Sydney and people being shot up. Guns is not the issue. It's the ideology behind those guns. And let's not kid ourselves here. Islam, radical Islam, is an ideology dressed up as a theology. And yes, the overwhelming majority of Muslims, as we saw by those heroic acts, are, you know, peaceful people. But we cannot turn a blind eye to what's going on with radical Islam. And it has to do with the religion. You can find surahs in the Quran that talk about hatred of Jews, and I can tell you about the hadiths, Andrew. They're full of it. You know, there's one hadith, a notorious one, that talks about killing Jews, on the Judgment Day. So let's not kid ourselves. It's not about religion. Anthony Albanese is a disgrace. He should today suspend our recognition of Palestine. You know, these people have been rewarded by that recognition. Abbas has not met any of those conditions, and we've created a climate of anti-Semitism. And, I feel ashamed to be an Australian today with a party that I was once a member of.
Look, I feel shame as well. It's just disgusting. It's heartbreaking. Cameron, you heard also today Josh Frydenberg on the attack, very powerful. Personally, I do think it's spoiled a little by the news that he plans to run again for election in Kooyong. I just think that sort of politicisation should have been left out for now. But if he did run, what does it mean for the Liberals?
Well, don't we have a Prime Minister, someone in the making? I mean, Josh Frydenberg stood up and actually expressed the values and the fear and the anger and the grief that all of us as Australians are feeling. He stood up as a true leader today. Anthony Albanese hid in the shadows. Josh Frydenberg stood up. And if he's going to run for the Liberal Party in Kooyong and become the leader, then maybe Australia's got a way out of this. Because it certainly hasn't with Albanese and with Frydenberg. If he speaks the way he spoke today, as the nation's leader, we'd be a much better place.
Michael Costa?
Well, look, I don't care about the politics. He can make a decision for what he wants to do, but his words are what are more important. I mean, he talked about the factories of hate in Western Sydney. I'm just going to add to that. There are factories of hates all over the place that are funded by the government, in our university, in our charity organisations. We have to deal with this. There needs to be protocols put in place that anybody that subscribes to radical Islam or extreme Islam does not get funding from the taxpayer. That's the first thing. Then there's the immigration issue, Andrew.
No.
That's what we need to deal with. Australians have had enough of this. We've got to put an end to this.
I know, that's so true. Listen to some of those hate preachers I've just played. How many of them came over here under either government, both sides of politics? That's got to stop. Michael Costa, Cameron Milner, thank you very much to you both.